The forest road stretched endlessly, shrouded in mist. I was driving alone, the headlights cutting through the thick fog. Every turn felt familiar, yet unfamiliar, like the path was reshaping itself behind me. The radio crackled. Static. Then a voice whispered, "Don't look back." I slammed the volume down. Nothing. Just the sound of my own breathing. Trees leaned in closer as I drove. Shadows moved at the edges of my vision. I thought I imagined them until a figure appeared, standing in the middle of the road. I hit the brakes. The figure vanished instantly, leaving only fog and the echo of a whisper. My pulse raced. I tried to call someone. No signal. The road forked, and I took the left path. The fog thickened, swallowing everything behind me. My headlights caught the glint of something metallic among the trees. A gate, old, rusted, with chains hanging loose. No building in sight. I parked. Curiosity overcame fear. The chains rattled as I approached. A door appeared in the fog, wooden, old. It wasn't there before. I pushed it open. Inside, the air was cold, damp, and smelled faintly of decay. The walls were lined with mirrors, each reflecting a slightly different version of me. My own reflection moved independently, smiling when I didn't, blinking when I didn't. A soft voice whispered from every corner, growing louder, "Stay forever." I stepped back. My reflection followed. I turned to run. The door slammed shut. The mirrors multiplied. Hundreds of eyes stared back, all mine but wrong, all watching, waiting. I realized too late that this place didn't just exist in the forest. It existed for me, and now it wanted to keep me inside forever. I tried the door. Locked. My hands pressed against the wood, but it didn't budge. The mirrors pulsed as if alive, breathing with the same rhythm as my heart. A whisper rose above the rest. "You can't leave." It sounded like my own voice, calm, commanding, yet unfamiliar. I turned to the nearest mirror. My reflection stepped forward, separate from me. It smiled, showing teeth I didn't have. My knees buckled. Shadows crept along the walls, forming shapes I couldn't identify. Thin, long arms reached out, disappearing into the glass. I backed away, but every step brought me closer to another mirror, each reflecting the same twisted version of me. I ran down a hallway that had appeared overnight, doors lining every wall. I opened one. It led to the same mirror room. Another, same mirrors. Each room echoed my screams. The air grew heavier. My breath fogged in the mirrors themselves. I touched one, and my hand passed through, cold and wet, sticky like water. A figure emerged from the farthest mirror, taller than any human, faceless, gray. It raised its arms, pointing at me. A faint glow outlined it. I stumbled backward. Mirrors rippled. The whispering grew louder, hundreds of voices overlapping. "You belong here. You belong here." I tried the windows. All black. The fog outside pressed against the glass, forming shapes, faces, hands, eyes, watching, waiting. I realized the forest outside didn't exist anymore. Only this place existed. Only the mirrors. Only them. And they wanted me. I ran through hallways that twisted unnaturally. Floors tilted, walls stretched, ceilings pressed low. The mirrors were everywhere. Hundreds. Thousands. Each reflecting not me, but someone I feared to be. A hand reached out from one, cold and solid. I recoiled, but it followed, slithering along the floor like liquid shadow. I stumbled into a staircase that appeared midair. It spiraled downward into blackness, endless. I had no choice but to descend. The stairwell opened into a massive hall, mirrors covering every wall. Hundreds of reflections screamed silently, clawing at the glass. Each one was me. Not me. Something between human and shadow. From the shadows, a figure approached. Gray skin, faceless, taller than any human, moving in jerks yet fluid. Its mouth opened unnaturally. The whispering in the hall grew louder. Hundreds of voices chanting, echoing in perfect unison. "Stay, stay, stay." I tried to run. Mirrors multiplied. Each reflection followed, imitating my panic. The floor beneath me rippled like water. I fell. The figure's arm shot through the nearest mirror. Cold, sticky, gripping my wrist. My body felt unreal. Lighter. Fragile. Dissolving. I screamed. Sound bounced back from every mirror. My own reflection stared at me, grinning. I was no longer running, no longer breathing. I realized the mirrors weren't just reflecting me. They were consuming me. Every fear, every heartbeat, every scream became part of them. I floated in darkness. The hallways, the mirrors, the whispers, they were all around me. I no longer knew where I ended and where they began. A faint light glowed ahead. A keycard appeared, black with a red symbol. I reached for it. Doors formed around me, hundreds, each leading to the same mirror room. Inside, I saw myself. Not me. My face smiling, eyes empty, hands reaching toward me. I tried to move, but my body felt unreal, dissolving into reflection. The figure returned, faceless, gray, taller than any human. Its voice was mine, calm and eternal. "You belong here now." I screamed. No sound. The mirrors rippled, swallowing me. I realized the hotel, the forest, the road, they didn't trap people. They trapped essence, fear, and sound. Every whisper, every heartbeat, every scream became part of them. Outside, someone approached. Curious, unaware. Another guest. Another soul waiting to be trapped. I became the whispers, the reflections, the waiting. The mirrors multiplied endlessly. The darkness pulsed, and the cycle continued. The first night I heard the sound, I thought it was coming from my phone. A low tapping. Slow. Patient. I checked my notifications. Nothing. The sound continued, moving slightly, as if it were circling the room. I live alone in a small apartment on the edge of the city. The building is old, the kind that makes noise at night. Pipes clicking, walls settling. I told myself it was one of those things. Then I realized the tapping had rhythm. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps again. I held my breath. The tapping matched it. My phone screen lit up on its own. A voice memo app was open. Recording. I hadn't touched it. The timer showed 30 seconds already recorded. I pressed play. At first, there was only static. Then I heard my own breathing, shallow and nervous. And behind it, another breath. Slower. Deeper. Too close. A whisper slid through the sound. "Don't turn around." I dropped the phone. The tapping stopped. The room felt heavier, like the air had thickened. I stood up slowly and walked to the mirror near the door. My reflection looked normal. Same tired eyes, same tense face. But it moved half a second late. When I raised my hand, the reflection smiled first. I stepped back. The smile stayed. Behind me, something shifted. Not a sound. More like the idea of movement, pressing against my back. The phone vibrated. A new voice memo appeared. File name, second night. I hadn't recorded a first one. I pressed play. My voice spoke calmly, as if reading instructions. "It learns faster if you listen," it said. "It remembers your shape through sound." My reflection opened its mouth. I felt breath on my neck. Cold. Curious. The whisper returned, clearer now. "It's your turn." The lights flickered. The recording didn't stop. I didn't turn around. Every instinct screamed to run, but my body refused to move. The air behind me felt occupied, like someone standing inches away without weight or shape. The whisper faded, but the breathing didn't. It moved with me when I stepped forward, stopping when I stopped, like it was learning the rules of my body. I grabbed my phone and rushed into the bathroom, slamming the door shut. The mirror above the sink was already fogged, even though the water wasn't running. A handprint appeared on the glass. From the inside, I wiped it away with my sleeve. The glass was ice cold. My phone vibrated again. Another voice memo. File name, third night. My chest tightened. It was still the same night. I played it. This time, I wasn't alone in the recording. 2 breaths. One shaking. One steady. "It doesn't need you awake," my voice said. "It listens better when you're afraid." A soft knock echoed from the bathroom door. Not loud. Careful. 3 knocks. Pause. 3 again. I backed away until my shoulders hit the wall. The lock twisted slowly. I hadn't unlocked it. The door opened an inch. Darkness pressed through the gap, thicker than shadow. From inside that darkness, I heard my own voice again. Closer now, clearer. "Don't waste energy," it said gently. "You'll need it." The light above the mirror burst, plunging the bathroom into dim yellow from the hallway. My reflection returned. Not copied. Replaced. It stared at me with my face, but wrong proportions. Eyes too wide. Mouth relaxed like it had never learned how to smile. It spoke without sound. I understood anyway. It wasn't trapped here. I was. The phone dropped from my hand and hit the floor. The recording kept going. I felt fingers brush my wrist, testing, curious. Then my ankle, my spine, mapping me, learning where I ended. The whisper returned one last time that night, no longer hidden. "Tomorrow," it promised, "you'll sound just like me." The lights went out. The tapping started again, closer than before. I didn't sleep. Not really. My eyes were open, staring at the ceiling while the apartment felt wrong. Alive. Like it was waiting. The tapping never stopped. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps again. Always behind me. Always in rhythm with my heartbeat. I tried calling someone. No signal. My phone was useless. Even the flashlight app flickered as if it refused to work. I stood up. The room was darker than it should have been. Shadows stretched against the walls unnaturally, bending toward me. One leaned longer than the others, like a hand reaching. I forced myself to look at the mirror. My reflection was gone. Just black glass. My own face stared at me from the opposite side of the room. It wasn't moving, but I knew it was aware. A soft, wet sound came from the kitchen. Slow dragging. My stomach turned. I gripped a kitchen knife. I walked toward the noise. Every step echoed too loudly, like the room had betrayed me. The dragging stopped. I froze. A whisper came from behind me, low, almost amused. "Closer." I spun around. Nothing. Then I realized the knife felt heavier. My grip weaker. My hands shaking uncontrollably. The phone buzzed. Another voice memo. File name, 4th night. I pressed play with trembling fingers. This time, the recording began with my own voice, but not mine. It was smoother, colder, calm, instructing. "Do not struggle. You belong here now." The dragging sound returned. In front of me this time. My vision blurred. I blinked and it was gone. I backed into the corner. My back hit the wall. Cold, sticky moisture clung to my skin. My heartbeat felt wrong, fast but hollow. The whisper returned, louder. "Step forward. Let it see you." I wanted to scream, but my throat refused. The apartment swallowed sound like a mouth swallowing a scream hole. A shadow detached from the far wall. Too dark to see, yet it had shape. Tall, wide, wrong. It stepped closer. With each step, the air grew heavier. My lungs burned. My vision tunneled. The whispering voice changed. Familiar. My voice. But not my thoughts. Calm. Commanding. "Give it the sound. It wants you." I stumbled, almost falling. The shadow reached toward me, touching my shoulder. Cold. Solid. Not solid. Impossible. I saw myself in the reflection of the knife blade. My eyes wide. My lips moving. But I wasn't speaking. The shadow leaned closer. The last thing I felt was my body becoming lighter. And the tapping. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps again. Closer. Always closer. I woke up on the floor. The apartment was silent. Too silent. My head throbbed. My arms felt heavy, like they didn't belong to me. I looked around. The walls were the same, the furniture in place, but something was off. The shadows hung wrong. The air tasted wrong. I tried to stand. My legs refused. My phone buzzed. Another voice memo appeared. File name, 5th night. I pressed play. My own voice again. Calm. Clear. Guiding. "You are ready. It has learned you." The door creaked open slowly. No one was there. Yet I could feel a presence. Watching. Waiting. The tapping began once more. 3 taps. Pause. 3 taps. Closer. I crawled to the door, dragging my trembling body. The air thickened with each movement. My breathing became a whisper. The shadow moved silently beside me, just beyond my vision, perfectly matching my steps. I reached the hallway. The building was different. Corridors stretched longer, walls bending. The doors I remembered were gone. New ones appeared, each whispering my name, each inviting me to enter. A light flickered at the end of the hall. My reflection appeared in the glass, smiling, calm, watching me. "You are not leaving," it said. I tried to scream. No sound came. The shadow merged with my reflection. My reflection moved first. I followed. The floor beneath me seemed to ripple like water. My body grew lighter. I was being lifted, not into the ceiling, not into the walls, into the sound, into the recording itself. I saw everything I had done, my own voice, trembling, my fear, pure and raw, every breath, every step. All of it became a layer in the building. "You are part of it now," my voice said, this time, not mine, but the one I had heard on all the recordings. Smooth, controlled, eternal. I could no longer tell where I ended and the apartment began. The tapping stopped. Silence. Then a new recording appeared on my phone. No file name. No length. I opened it. Another voice, new, trembling, afraid. It was someone else. Listening. Alone. And I understood. I wasn't gone. I was waiting. In the walls. In the echoes. In the taps. Always waiting. For the next listener. To become me. The first thing I noticed after waking up was the silence. Not the peaceful kind. This silence felt heavy, as if the world itself was holding its breath. My eyes opened slowly, expecting the dim ceiling of my apartment, the cracked fan, the distant noise of traffic. Instead, I saw darkness, thick, endless darkness, pressing down on me from every direction. I tried to move. My body responded, but the surface beneath me was wrong. Too cold, too smooth, like stone that had never known warmth. "Hello." My voice echoed, but the echo returned distorted, stretched, as if something else was repeating my words a moment too late. I sat up. The darkness didn't change. No walls, no corners, just an endless black space, broken only by the ground beneath my hands. I stood, heart pounding, and took a step forward. The sound of my footsteps followed me, but then I heard another set. Not mine. I stopped. The footsteps stopped too. "Who's there?" I asked, my throat dry. No answer. But I could feel it, something standing just beyond my vision, close enough that the air around me felt colder. I turned suddenly, expecting to see a shadow, a figure, anything. Nothing. Then I noticed something worse. I wasn't breathing. Panic shot through me. I inhaled sharply, or at least I tried to. My chest didn't rise. There was no burn in my lungs, no relief, no suffocation either. It was as if breathing had become unnecessary or impossible. That's when the memory hit me. The accident. Rain. Headlights. The screech of tires. The moment of weightlessness as my body left the road. I was dead. "No," I whispered. "This isn't hell. This can't be it." The ground beneath me trembled, as if responding to my denial. The darkness shifted, folding inward, and suddenly a faint light appeared in the distance. A doorway. I ran toward it, my footsteps echoing too loudly, too slowly. As I got closer, I realized the door wasn't attached to anything. It stood alone, old and wooden, its surface scratched with deep marks, like fingernails had tried desperately to claw their way out. The door creaked open on its own. Warm yellow light spilled out, carrying with it the smell of old paper, dust, and something metallic. Blood. Against every instinct screaming at me to run, I stepped through. I found myself in a narrow corridor lined with doors on both sides. Each door had a number carved into it. Not painted. Carved. I looked at the first one. 17. The next. 18. Then I noticed something carved beneath each number. Names. Human names. My stomach twisted as I moved down the hall, reading them silently. Some felt familiar, like I had heard them on the news or in passing conversations. Others meant nothing to me, until I reached a door at the end of the corridor. Door 23. Below the number was my name. I stumbled back, my heart racing even though it shouldn't have been beating at all. No, this is a mistake. The door began to open. Inside was a small room, lit by a single flickering bulb. A bed stood in the center, its sheets soaked dark red. The walls were covered in photographs. Photographs of me. Not selfies. Not posed images. These were taken from angles I didn't recognize, through windows, from behind doors, from across empty streets. Someone had been watching me my entire life. In the corner of the room, I saw a mirror. I stepped closer, dread pooling in my chest. The reflection looked like me, but wrong. My skin was pale, stretched too tightly over my face. My eyes were open, wide and empty, like a corpse propped up for display. Behind my reflection, something moved. A tall shape emerged from the darkness of the room, bending unnaturally to avoid the ceiling. Its limbs were too long, its joints bent in impossible directions. Where its face should have been, there was only a smooth surface, except for a mouth, wide and stitched shut with thick black thread. The stitches began to tear. One by one, the mouth opened, revealing rows of teeth that didn't belong in any human skull. "You took too long," it said, its voice layered with dozens of others. "Took too long for what?" I screamed. "To notice." The walls began to bleed. The photographs peeled themselves off the walls and fluttered to the floor, their images changing as they fell. Each one now showed a moment from my life where I had ignored something. A woman asking for help on the street. A phone call I declined. A warning sign I laughed at. "You saw." The creature continued, stepping closer. "And you walked away." "I didn't know." I cried. "You chose not to know." The room shrank. The ceiling lowered, pressing the creature closer to me. I backed toward the door, but it had vanished. There was only the mirror now. The reflection smiled. It raised its hand. I felt a sharp pain in my chest as something was ripped free. I looked down and saw a faint, glowing shape in the creature's grasp. My breath. "You won't need this anymore," it whispered. The world collapsed into darkness. I woke up screaming. I was in a hospital bed. Machines beeped around me. My chest burned as I sucked in air. Real air, desperate and painful. "You're lucky," a nurse said, rushing in. "You were gone for almost 6 minutes." I tried to speak, but my voice shook. I saw something." She avoided my eyes. "Hallucinations happen." I nodded, pretending to believe her. But that night, when the lights went out and the ward grew quiet, I noticed something carved into the wall beside my bed. A number, 24, and beneath it, my name.